Hey, welcome to the second annual Football Diehards Best Ball League. Last year, Mike Dempsey won it quite well, as a matter of fact, so I'm sure he's excited about repeating, and a lot of people, 11 other people, are wanting to beat him. Hey, Armando, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, he is ahead of me, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, boy, you sounded like scrambled eggs right there. I don't know if your connection's lost or not, but... So, did you see what pick you're at yet? Let's go look. I'm picked 11. We'll flip over to the thing. It looks like you're 10-9. It looks like you're 8. That's not a bad spot. And you're frozen right now, so I can't see it. So we're going to switch to the board. I don't know how much time. We don't have a lot of time. We got 1 minute left.
I lost you there for a second, but I'm back.
You're crisp now. So you got pick 8.
Yeah.
You
I
pick
do,
8.
and that's what I said. Mike Dempsey has a pick right before me, so that should be interesting. I have pick 8. You have pick 11. I actually in a tough position. I got Mike in front of me, and I got Jen right behind me. So
that's tough.
I can totally. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I can guarantee I'll get sniped a couple of times tonight.
And maybe you'll snipe them
so
too.
I full disclosure, I will be reaching. That is a fact tonight. I'm gonna have to.
All right, I bet this thing's about to go. Let me flip us over to that. Okay, there we are. 24 seconds or so. And let me flip to my screen so I can watch what's going on. It looks like Bob's the first pick. Roto Wizard, I think that's Evan T. And then Justin Lanero, etc. The Roly Boly Boy. Who is that again? I've forgotten. Ha! Well, we'll find out. To decode these symbols. All right, first guy's on the clock. Bob Harris. I wonder who he'll go with. He's thinking about it. I'm assuming it'll be Todd Gurley, but we'll see.
Yeah, so do I. As do I.
Sprout, what is he doing?
I think he's just making us sweat here. You know.
Yes, definitely. Let's see. Gary's in too. So Bob's pick. I don't know what he's waiting for. He's probably going to get a default. What is he doing? He probably doesn't even know the draft started. I just IM'd him. Let him know. I'm sure he's not trying to be that dramatic.
I would assume not, but
evidently so. He's going to get Todd Gurley, which is probably who he wanted anyway. Hopefully he'll figure it out before the next pick. Okay, so Todd Gurley goes.
And that's no surprise at all.
Nope. We'll see whether we can get the...
Le'Veon Bell went. Not surprised either.
And
then David Johnson to Justin. And Zeke Elliott, fourth over. I mean, we've been doing a couple of these, and I think consistently we've seen those top 4 guys go not in that same order, but pretty often. So I think everyone agrees that those are the top 4 picks and of course it's your favorite. Whoever you prefer, I think you can't go wrong with any of them.
Yep. Kamara just went with the, was it 6th pick? There goes Barkley. I don't even know if Bob knows the draft's going on yet.
All right. So Kamara went, and Antonio Brown went, and I am on the clock. Okay. All right. Well, I took Leonard Fournette.
Hey, that's the guy I'm supposed to get with the 11th pick.
I really like Leonard Fournette. Yeah, I really like Leonard Fournette a ton this year. I have him ranked higher than most.
It's coming up on my pick. I'm hoping. I was hoping that Hopkins would make it, and he did not make it. So
you still got this.
I'm going to take. I'm looping around the corner. I'm going to get 2 picks taken by Bill Robertson before me, or just after me and before my next pick. And I kind of wanted Hopkins. The top 3 receivers have gone. I'm going to go for Cook from Minnesota, and just see what receiver falls down to me at the next pick. How's that?
I love that pick. I really like Cook. we did a draft the other night, and I was 12th pick, and I was able to get Fournette and Cook. So definitely like that pick a lot.
Okay, so Bob's looped around. Bill's looped around. He took Melvin Gordon, and Julio Jones, so he split nicely. So, you know, I've got Hunt, I've got McCaffrey, I've got Keenan Allen, I've got Devontae Adams. What I'm going to do here, if I can make my mind up in 35 seconds, is I'm going to go receiver because I've got a couple of running backs I want to take later that I think are going to be value picks. So I'm going to go Keenan Allen here, and then see if I can't get a quote unquote, you know, sleeper, or what do you want to call it, breakout player here in later rounds. And
yeah, and Kareem Hunt just went after you, and that, you know, that was the pick right there. I told you I was going to get sniped. It didn't take long at all.
Yeah.
I wanted McCaffrey in that second round, and Jen took him right in front of me.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, there was a lot of players to be taken there in my slot, but now it's your pick, and you get this.
Yeah. And I myself, I do like some running backs later on, so I'm going to do pretty much what you did. I'm going to go wide receiver here. I'm just between two guys, and Devontae Adams and Michael Thomas. You know, they're right there, very close for me. But I'm going to go with the guy I think is, you know, the better receiver, and that's Michael Thomas.
Yeah, that's a fantastic receiver. You got to hope he, you know, has a little more efficiency at scoring touchdown.
That is the thing. But I as much as I like Devontae Adams, it's tough to stomach him as my number one wide receiver. I just, you know, I have him ranked high, but you know, I don't know. I don't know if he can, you know, sustain what we saw, you know, towards the end of last year.
Yeah, sorry, typing and can't talk and type at the same time.
no,
Nixon.
That's okay. So
Nixon's gone.
Devontae Adams going right behind me, and I'm not surprised at that. You know, I really was torn between the two. They're very, very close for me. But I feel a little bit more comfortable with Michael Thomas. And then Joe Mixon right behind Devontae Adams. I think that's an excellent pick.
Yep.
I actually was hoping he would land to me in the third, but he's kind of flying up ADPs right now.
Well, you're in a good spot. 8's not a bad spot to be in. You don't have as much distance. You know, I've got that 11 spot, which is a long distance, so I'm going to have to think a little more reaching, where you can have a little shorter a distance between your pick and the one coming around on the left side, which would be 14 picks between your long side. Not horrible.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not. I think it's a pretty much one of the, you know, best options after the mid. I still like the edges much better, but when you look at, I don't want pick 5, 6, 7 too much. 8 is kind of where I'm okay with. 5, it really depends on what lands. So you're getting Antonio Brown most of the time, but I don't know. On the way back, I think you're losing a lot of value as far as players and running backs are concerned. I think the running backs are going a little bit earlier in that second round, as we saw.
Well, Bob took at the last pick in the second round, Tyreek Hill, and then he took Rob Gronkowski with the first pick in the third round.
And that's something, I mean, we've been drafting with Bob for quite some time now, and he likes to take his shot on Gronk, and, you know, rightfully so. Arguably the best at his position from a fantasy standpoint when healthy. So it makes a lot of sense, especially in best ball, where, excuse me, where the you know, you don't have to worry about plugging him in, and he's going to have his off games. He just does, but when he has big games, he has 2 touchdown upside any given Sunday.
Yeah, it looks like Roto Wizard, which I think is Evan, he finally made his pick. Boy, he waited to the last minute. Baldwin goes to the Roto Wizard. And I got to start thinking about my next pick, don't I?
No, you got some time. So Justin has 2 running backs here. Yes. I would not be surprised to see him go receiver. I also wouldn't be surprised if he went tight end here. But
you just went Hilton.
There he goes. That makes sense considering his roster. And I actually have Hilton pretty high up on my board, and he was my next.
Yeah, ADP wise, that's about where he's going, middle of the third round. So, yeah, not a surprise that he's going to go. Yeah. Oh, there goes McCoy. No chance for me to get him. Let's see who took him. Davenport. Gary Davenport.
Yeah,
he's a sneaky guy.
He is. And I'm not surprised at that pick, but I wouldn't have taken McCoy. I just too many red flags for me.
Big ones.
McKinnon going.
I had a draft Saturday, and I think it was a fourth round. I ended up taking McCoy. Wasn't planning on it, but at that point, I just decided, it's like you did Friday in that video number 2, where you took a lot of, risks.
Yeah,
that had high upsides. Oh my gosh, they're flying off the board. Henry just went.
Yeah.
And I guess I got to think about what I'm going to do here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you're on. Yeah, I took Diggs in the third round here with my next pick. So wanted another receiver I think is very stable, consistent, and also offers a pretty good upside. I think, with Kirk Cousins here, I think Diggs has a good shot at having a big season.
Appears to be my pick, huh?
Yes, sir. You are on the clock.
Okay. Well, again, I talked about I've got some running backs that are a little bit later, like the next round or so. Not sure if I can go after this one. So I'm gonna go for one of your favorite players who I've not taken a lot, who has high upside, and that is Allen Robinson. I've got a couple guys rated before him, but again, I'm going to go for a little upside for him. So there he goes, and we'll see what loops around the corner. Maybe I can get lucky.
I really like that pick.
Yep.
I think the volume is going to be there. I really do. I think he's going to get a ton of volume. I like that Alshon Jeffrey pick there. There is some concern with him about being ready or not, but if he does play, if he is able to play at the start of the season and does play a full season, he has a good chance of having a nice season here. He did pretty good last year and kind of under the radar. Yeah, that's...
Bill's a bold guy. I'm on the clock, and now I'm really thinking of doing something really crazy. Oh, jeez, is it too early for Ertz?
Take Eli Manning already?
No. I mean, I'm thinking Ertz, but I've been going late. Tight end. I've never taken a top tight end here recently. It makes me feel like I'm going to starve at other positions, but you know what? I'm going to try it. I hate chasing running backs and receivers, but I'm going to take Ertz, and it's a long way around. I haven't had him in any drafts. I'm paying a fourth-round pick. It's a high fourth-round pick, so I'll see whether that works.
And I think if you're taking any of these tight ends early on, I think Ertz is the guy to go simply because of price. I mean, we saw Gronk go around earlier, and then Kelsey went a couple picks after Gronk. So, I mean, if you're going to take a stance, he would be the last tight end I take of the three, obviously. But I prefer taking him because you're getting around later of value. So you still get to pick up. In your case, you picked up Allen Robinson, so you still get to pick up a receiver or a running back that you feel pretty good about, and still get an elite tight end.
Yeah, proportionally, I'm pretty good right now. I got two receivers, one running back, and a tight end, and you don't have to be proportional. I don't want to get too far out of whack unless I've got some real sleepers I like in later rounds that I know I can get or I have a high probability of getting. But I'm a little nervous about going too wacky. So that's a pretty good blend. But I need to get my second running back here. We'll see what happens at the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah. And I'm on the clock here. And, okay, so I'm going to do something. I've been taking Jay Ajayi a ton. So I kind of want to diversify myself a little bit and not, completely be all in. So I'm going to take the guy I have pretty much right behind him in my rankings, and it's Kenyon Drake. I think they're both in good spots this year. And again, I like Jay Ajayi a ton. I've drafted him. I think in the first 2 drafts we've done together, I believe I have Jay Ajayi in each of those teams. So it's just I do this to diversify myself and not be all in on a player, because that can go very south if the player gets injured and it's a serious injury. So I like to diversify, and that's something I've been doing. So in this draft, Kenyon Drake, I don't have a ton of exposure to him. I like him a lot this season. I think he's going to get pretty much all the carries in Miami. We saw the other day in the preseason game how he's able to make, a big play out of nothing. He gets hit in the backfield, and you think he's going to lose 5 yards, and all of a sudden he gains 10. So he has that big play ability, and I just think he's going to get fed in Miami. So I do like him a ton.
Yeah, I like him. The offensive line for Miami isn't the greatest, but my Ertz pick, my other option from Ertz was Drake. Obviously, he's right around this time frame. So, let's see. Oh, by the way, Mike Dempsey, the last year champion of the Staff Best Ball League, has 3 running backs and 1 receiver. So
and I like that. I like that approach. I mean, I was going to take 2 running backs in the first 2 rounds, and I did not, because the running backs that I wanted all got taken before me. So I decided just to go with, Michael Thomas. But I do like that approach quite a bit.
Well, he's very good at best ball. He's going to play over 100 best ball leagues this year. That's a lot.
That is.
I think he's shooting for 150, he said.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot, but he knows what he's doing. There's a reason why he won this league last year. I speak to him once a week on SiriusXM, and he always brings the fire, man. He really does. He knows
he's
knows a lot
intense.
about the sport. And he knows. So it's good to draft around people like that, because it's challenging, and it really makes you think. It kind of makes you go out of your comfort zone, and that's something adjusting to your draft. We've talked about that before on the strategy side of things, and you got to adjust in your draft. Things are not going to always pan out like you plan.
And Bob took one of my players I wanted, which was Lynch, which doesn't surprise me. I didn't think he was going to make it to me, so we'll see what happens. Definitely on an approach, Ertz, I'm already regretting taking Ertz, but that's okay. Got to come up with a solid second running back here. Henry's already gone. Now I'm regretting it. I was like, this list is dwindling. So Bob's got Gurley. He's got Royce Freeman, who's looking good in Denver. He's got Marshawn Lynch, who has high upside, but he's a little old. But at the same time, with Coach Gruden back, this guy could, he could be a very productive back this year. Another tight end goes. Evan Ingram from the New York Giants. Second pick in the 5th round.
I like Ingram a lot. Not sure I'm willing to pay that kind of price, but again, if he, to me, I have him ranked 4th, and I can see him finishing in that, that range, at top 3-4 range easily. I know there's, he's a big red zone target, and I really like this offense quite a bit this season. So Jay Ajayi just went in the 5th round. I had him marked. Hopefully he was going to land to me, but that's wishful thinking.
He would have been wonderful. Deion Lewis just went, and Gary got Lamar Miller, the non-sexy Lamar Miller, in the 5th round.
I like that a lot. I had him penciled in as well. I have obviously, I'm thinking of running back next round, as you can tell. So,
well, leave me one. I got a pick in the 11th. That's most likely going to take a run, or maybe I won't.
Just do that.
Maybe I won't.
I might just do that. No, I might just do that.
Well, if I wanted Lynch in this draft, obviously I would have had him take him where I took Ertz, but I didn't. I would have taken Drake probably. Marvin Jones off the board.
Yeah, Marvin Jones went after Lamar Miller.
There's nothing left.
I'm gonna leave you one. I don't want to do that to you. I have two penciled here, but I'm going to go a different direction here.
It is your pick, and Aaron Rodgers, the first quarterback, is off the board to Mike Dempsey, former winner of this league in the 5th round. What is it, 7th pick? Oh, there he goes. I figured he wouldn't make it to me.
Yeah, well, hey, I left you the running back. I can't leave them all.
Yeah, I left you the running evidently back. Not. Yeah.
but yeah, that's Corey Davis. We both have been pretty much talking him up during all these drafts. I believe you have a couple of shares of him. I now get my share of him, and I just the upside's there. The upside is there. And I got 2 steady, consistent receivers, and I'm taking a player with a ton of upside here.
I wonder how crazy I should get here. I'm going to do something really. I'm going to take Fuller here about a round early, but again, I'm at the 11th spot. And now I'm going to think for a minute. I may just take another receiver and really leave myself in a position where I'm going to have to really find a couple running backs late that will do me well. But I may not. Let's see what Bill Robertson's going to do here. He's had that high pick, and he picked Jeffrey early than most people would have. And so he definitely is a guy who doesn't mind to think out of the box. And he took Chris Thompson. And Edelman, another interesting pick. He's definitely out of the box. Now Edelman's not out of the box, but he's got Jeffrey and Edelman who may miss time. Well, Edelman will miss time. He's going to miss 4 games. and oh hey, it's my pick. Maybe I can shut up and pick. All right, I'm gonna not be bold, and I'm gonna take a running back here.
There you go. I thought you would.
I talked tough, but I didn't act tough. And I'm gonna reach down just a couple picks on my cheat sheet for this Isaiah Crowell, who I think is going to get a lot of runs and a lot of catches for the Jets this year, and hopefully he can be an RB2 this year. Or I can find somebody else later in the draft that does well also. Wow. And we got Fantasy Assassin, which is Brad Cruz, who will usually take 95% of his clock, whether he needs it or not. Oh my God, he only took 40 some odd seconds. Burkhardt.
That's good though, because he's been going higher in draft board.
Higher and higher. Yep. And look that's his second running back, is Rex Burkhead. That's interesting. Yeah, it's Jersey Jets who takes Rashad Penny. Go ahead.
That was the guy. That was my guy right there. That's 2 for 2 for Jen.
That's 2. She's got you twice.
Yeah, it's going to continue happening. And I'm not taking my time because I want to.
I'm trying to be quiet. I want you to think. Well, that's what you get for taking Corey Davis to get sniped. You should have taken Penn. Just kidding.
I know.
Yeah, Jen has got 2 receivers and 3 running backs. And I like the Christian McCaffrey right there. She was really, really well at the 9th spot. She got him in the 4th spot in the 2nd round. That's as far as he's going to go, most likely. Excellent picking.
I'm going to go with a rookie running back. I haven't been doing that too much this season, but I'm going to go ahead and go with a rookie running back. There was a couple of receivers I was in between there, but I wanted to get a 3rd running back that has a ton of upside, and that's Ronald Jones here.
Wonderful. You know what's interesting? I don't know if you have this phenomenon. Let me know. Like Sammy Watkins. I know he's got a good opportunity there in Kansas City. I just can't draft him. Every time I see his name, it's just something about him, and I just don't take him. What is that? Am I stupid? Or how do you correlate that?
No, I mean there's going to be players where you just steer away from. It's just, the nature of it. I agree. I do think if you are going to take him, it's best ball formats like the one we're drafting, because you don't have to worry about it as far as his consistency on a week-to-week basis, because he was very touchdown dependent last season. It was nothing based on volume, nothing based on week-to-week consistency. It was just he either scored or he didn't, and that's how he would have his big games mostly. And I try to stay away from players like that, but there comes a time in the draft, where you're going to go ahead and take it because of the upside he has. But, Watkins' ADP is, between the 6th and 8th round. So this is, you're paying pretty much premium taking him in the 6th round. And there's nothing wrong with it in a best ball format. But I probably, go in a different direction, just like you. But I'm sure if he's there sitting around that 8th round, I'm sure you're not going to hesitate to draft him. It's just the price you're paying, and that has a lot of emphasis on your decision making. Yeah.
And sometimes you regret these things. You get sometimes I get negative about players, and I remember something that went wrong, and I just let that linger in my mind, and I should clear my mind about that stuff. I remember last year I couldn't take Mark Ingram. I just didn't want him. And Jen took him 2 or 3 times in leagues, and I thought, she shouldn't take that guy. He was incredible, as you know. He's a top 5 running back or something. I mean, it was just stupid. And, I did it for kind of emotional reasons.
And that's one thing I try not, but we all make that mistake, but that's one thing I try not to do, is just hold any, he burned me once and he burned me a couple of years ago. Because it messes up, the process. And we always talk about just trusting the process, trusting your research, trusting the numbers, trusting the changes that have been made, and going with those. And if we let, something that happened a year or 2 ago get in the way, can affect our decision making in a big way. And Chris Hogan just went the first pick of the 7th round. I like that pick a lot. I think Chris Hogan's in for a big season this year.
Yeah, he's going to have a great opportunity the first 4 weeks with Edelman out, and maybe he can establish himself with those
and
first 4 weeks.
And Hogan himself was very efficient, before the injury last year.
Yep, that's going to be fun to watch. Well, a lot of picks before my next pick. I got 10 more to go, or 9 more, whatever it is. I got to start thinking about what I'm going to do here.
Yeah, it's right now. What do you have? You have you're stacked up receiver.
Yeah, I'm 3 and 2, and then 1. Yeah. Interesting. You think any quarterbacks will go in the next 6 picks or 7 picks before me? We've only got 1.
We're gonna see quarterback this early in this kind of draft, but I do think that as soon as the quarterback run starts, you're gonna see probably 3 or 4 be taken within that same round, or within 10 picks of each other. I think.
Gotcha. Cooper Kupp goes. Jamison Crowder goes. Guy. Bing, bing, bing. Oh, this Tevin Coleman seems to be a guy who slides a little bit. Here we go. Deshaun Watson goes. Who took him? John Laub took him.
John Laub. Yep. Coleman went right before him.
2 more picks before your pick.
Yes, I have a couple guys highlighted.
Emmanuel Sanders goes.
See, and that's one of those guys where I'm trying to fade as well.
Emmanuel Sanders?
Yeah, and it's, for the wrong reasons, of course.
I don't know. I'm not that excited about him. If he falls to me, fine. If not, I'm not worried about it.
All right, and I just went Duke Johnson. I don't think he's going to be the same running back he was last season, but I still think he has a good chance of, having a really good season this year. And he's my 4th running back in a PPR format. I think his games are going to be much less consistent than they were last year, but he will still have those big games. So I'm okay with him in a best ball format that's PPR.
Sounds good. He he's been dropping a little bit, and supposedly has his same role this year. So there's no real reason for him to drop that much, even though they got Chubbs and Hyde. So you get scared about that, but he should still have his opportunities. He's catching the ball, and we will find out. He was the 11th running back last year in PPR. That's pretty high. Stunningly high.
I still think he might drop off out of there, but even if he finishes in the top 20, which I think is very feasible, it's a RB2, and I'm taking him as my 4th running back in this draft.
Yep, I took Jordy Nelson just to upset Jen Ryan, who is probably wanting to get him on the return. Now I got a real interesting pick in the next 2 picks here after Bill Robertson gets done with the turn. I've got a real interesting choice. Wow, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something really bizarre.
Uh-oh. It's going to be interesting. This is certainly going to be interesting.
Oh, Benjamin, that was a nice pick. That's another guy I had right up on the top of my receiver. So now it makes it even easier for make this bizarre pick. Watch what I'm going to do. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. Marlon Mack. Everybody hates the guy. He's not supposed to do this. He's hurt, and maybe not. Maybe he'll do well.
You see, I don't hate that at all. I like that quite a bit.
What is this, 8th round? I don't have to worry about my tight end right now. So usually I'm sitting here deciding what 8th or 9th or 10th tight end to take, and I'm pleasantly not having to worry about that this time. James White goes. If I can find him on my sheet.
He's been moving up.
Jen goes for a quarterback. What is this? I thought she was quarterback late. I guess it's late. It's the 8th pick. 8th round. And it's your pick.
Yes, I am on the clock. And
God, is Cam Newton going to make it back to you or not?
I'm not taking him this time. I'm hanging tight. You don't be too long. We've been drafting too many drafts. So I'm going to go a little different this time around here. I'm going with Jordan Reed. There's a ton of risk there, but if he pans out, and this is a best ball league, so if he pans out, I can have a top 5 tight end easily, especially with Alex Smith under center there this year. I think he'll utilize him quite a bit.
There goes Burton. Jamal Williams for Green Bay. You know what's interesting is, let me get rid of this guy. Rudolph's still there, isn't he? Are my eyes deceiving me?
Yeah. No, he is. He is.
9 tight ends. Go ahead.
Oh, no. So the 9 tight ends have been taken already?
Yep. And Rudolph is still there.
Burton, because Burton went just now too. That's why.
And around the loop, if you're looking at the board, which our audience will be when we put this on the site, there's only one guy, Justin Lanero, who doesn't have a tight end around the loop. So he could last, back up through the next thing. Not that it matters to you since you already took a tight end.
Yeah, and
like Davenport's really thinking on this pick. Either that or
maybe he wanted to
jam. Ha! But he better hurry up. 3, 2, 1. Oh, Chris Carson. Your handcuff is gone.
Who's handcuff? I don't have.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Jen. Jen's got picked. Yeah,
she probably got for me. That's who I wanted.
Yeah,
no, I don't think so.
Chubb just went for Cleveland.
There's still plenty of tight ends available, by the way.
Oh, tons. Yeah, there's a lot of upside guys. A lot of Njoku. Yeah, sorry, Njoku. Too much coffee today. Lack of sleep.
Yeah, myself.
There goes another quarterback.
Yeah, now you're going to see them start going a little bit quicker and more frequent. That's Russell Wilson. I wonder if anyone's listening to this, because if they are, then they know that I'm hoping someone answers me in the next round.
Well, we're not going live on YouTube on this until we, we're going to record it. So allegedly nobody's hearing us until post-mortem.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I'm not live streaming it. Maybe later on we'll do one or two.
Still a lot of options here.
Evan T is thinking about his pick right now. He's very balanced. He's got 4. Oh, there goes Cam Newton. Gone.
There he goes.
Yep. Goodbye, Cam Newton.
I officially will not have him on my roster this year. Or in this league.
Oh,
sorry.
Look at there. Bob took Barber, who was a guy I was looking at here in the next round, and now I'm not looking at him anymore. Yeah, I really like Peyton Barber. I think the guy can do well.
Me too. I was going to get him because I took Ronald Jones, and I don't typically handcuff, but I think one of those two is going to be the guy there. Ronald Jones to me has maybe the more upside. Peyton has a little bit more, of the experience here. So I don't know what direction they're going to go, but I really wanted both of them on my roster. So I was going to take a shot at him in one of the next 2 rounds.
Yep. Yeah, he's an interesting guy. Bob's got a pretty good team there. He took Robbie Anderson, who I was kind of hoping would slide. Yep, I tell you what. A lot of thought process. I'm somewhat balanced. Aaron Jones. Oh, Mr. Cobb. That's another guy I just don't seem to draft. For probably not a very good reason.
I actually like Cobb quite a bit. What?
Garcon. Garcon has lost his glimmer. Goodwin's kind of become the new shiny toy there in San Francisco, and
that's what it appears.
Pardon?
That's what it appears.
Stills is taken. Flying. There's Rudolph finally. That's a value pick right there. Getting Rudolph. Who got him? Mike Dempsey. He's got 2 tight ends. Oh. So in the 9th, you're picking, you can ignore what I'm talking about right now. So by his 9th pick, Mike Dempsey has 2 tight ends. And he took Burton before Rudolph, which to me was backwards. Rudolph should have gone before. I think he would have gone before, but he obviously didn't. But the beauty about when he was picking, when he ran around that loop, there's only 2 teams that didn't have tight ends. So he had a decent chance that somebody good would come back to him, which they did. There's the man.
Follow his footsteps.
David Njoku. Huh? Oh, another quarterback.
Yeah. So,
wow.
What I did was, I took a high risk, tight end in Jordan Reed because of his injury, background. So that's why I went with another upside tight end right in the very next round in Njoku.
Is that how you pronounce it? Njoku?
Njoku, yes.
Yeah, it's not how I pronounce it, but that doesn't mean anything. And the man who takes all 60 seconds, Brad Cruz, is down to 20 now. Now, I've got a real dilemma, as we all do, because, quarterback's kind of a concern right now, as I'm at the long end. I got, 20 picks before my next pick. Whew. Callaway went. Okay, it's my pick, huh? Wow. Yeah, that's going to make this quite interesting. And again, I don't really want to take some of these guys this early. Yeah, let me take a look at the guy. But this is a strategy I decided to take, which is not normal for me. But I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to take Jordan Wilkins and handcuff my Marlon Mack, and hopefully I've got a starter in there, especially best ball.
I'm going to take him now. I don't think he was going to get back to you.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I probably could have taken him.
Well, in the next round. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I understand I got to pick in 2 picks, but I didn't even want to. There's a couple of receivers. I could take a quarterback, so I just went with him there and tried not to worry about Bill snagging on me. Now, what do you think? Should I take a quarterback here, or should I take a receiver?
I still think there's plenty of options at quarterback. So I personally, I would probably be taking a receiver because there's still so many quarterbacks that are appealing to me left on the board. So even if you don't get one, Carson Wentz is probably at the top of everyone else rankings of quarterbacks who's left. You don't get Carson Wentz. There's still several quarterbacks there that shouldn't be too far back.
It gave me Dez Bryant. I didn't want Dez Bryant. Did I run out of my clock? I must have ran my clock out and wasn't paying attention. Because I just made a pick and it didn't pick for me. Oh well, that's really embarrassing. I did not do that on purpose. Obviously, I was going to take Wentz there. By the way, I clicked on him, but obviously, wow, that was really weird because I saw Bill pick and I picked within 10 seconds. But anyway, that's water under the bridge.
Yeah, you had plenty of time. That's very strange.
Something quirky happened. And I still got Wentz up on the thing, so I don't know why. But anyway, I guess I have Dez Bryant. That's really exciting. So now I'm really in a pinch. The system threw my pick away. And now I have to recover, which I may not recover. That was a pretty big blow.
And Dempsey took Jacksonville Jaguars defense.
Hometown. At fairly early, 10th round.
He just did it. Yeah.
See, Giovanni Bernard goes. And Powell goes. These people are drafting fast.
Yeah, I was between Bernard and Montgomery. I like that pick a bit.
Yeah. Ty Montgomery. Oh, you got Ty Montgomery. Good pick.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been drafting him a lot. I think he's going to be very involved in the offense.
And he catches the ball.
Exactly.
Next wide receiver. Yeah. So you got the number one quarterback throwing balls around the field. They've lost Jordy Nelson. The guy could, have some decent targets and be running the ball. Correct. I can't believe I got Dez Bryant. What happened there? Glitch. Trust me, it was not in my queue. I'm sitting here clicking on him. You know what? I'll get to play. I'll play this back, find out if I really ran on my clock. If I did, that was stupid of me. But sitting here talking and I ran my clock.
I'll be honest with you. I think you have plenty of time.
Yeah, something close, but it's the way it goes now. No backing up in this league, man. There's no commissioner. There's no help me commissioner button in this league. Rivers went, so we're definitely getting some quarterbacks going.
I'm surprised that Rivers went, and Wentz is still there. I mean, does that surprise you?
Yeah, he won't be there by my next pick. Maybe I'll trade Dez Bryant to get Wentz. Just kidding. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 quarterbacks. I'm surprised Wentz hasn't gone, but he may go here. Bob may take him here in 2 picks. Let's see. We got Evan. Waiting on Evan. He's coming down to the last 10 seconds. I think he's going to take a running back.
He has Cam Ewing.
Riddick. He went with Riddick for
Denver.
Denver.
Very good pick. Theo Riddick for Detroit.
Yeah. What did I say?
Denver.
It started with a D.
He is someone.
Now, what do you think, Bob? What do you think Bob takes Wentz on this next pick? Well, he took a quarterback. I was the wrong one.
It's Kirk Cousins and Andrew Luck. He went back to back.
He loves doubling up. He loves doubling up. Especially he's at the end again. Yeah. Remember, he's got 22 picks before his next pick. 22 people are picking before his next pick. So he saw a high-value quarterback in the 11th round, especially best ball, because you don't get to pick up free agents. That's a good pick. He's doing well. I like his team.
Yeah, he is doing really well. He has a very strong team here. Wow, very strong team.
Yeah, that's going to be good. All right, we're halfway through this draft, and now the craziness begins.
That's kind of why I like taking the edges, because you can dictate a little bit, what the draft does. He approached it with, taking the running back, the tight end, and the receiver, and then he went to doubled up on the receiver, running back again in the his next time around. So it's I think drafting from the edge is a nice advantage. Well, and there you go. You know, we said it. There was going to be some type of quarterback run in round 11.
That's a big one.
The first 4 picks are Kirk Cousins, Ben Roethlisberger, Matt Ryan, Derek Carr, and the last 2 picks in the 10th were Phillip Rivers and Andrew Luck. And here we go. I mean, now it's just going to have to happen. Derek Carr, Carson Wentz, they're all going. They are all going off the board, and they're going at a rapid pace.
7 out of the last 8 picks are quarterbacks. That's a run.
Yeah, and we knew it was only a matter of time. We said, there you go.
And that's why when I was trying to pick Wentz just before, that's why I wanted to pick a quarterback there, and somehow failed. Yeah. Howard just went. Oh, there's Goff. I'm going to get Alex Smith as my starting quarterback.
All right. So I'm going to do it too. I'm going to go Marcus Mariota.
You chicken. That's chicken.
No. What do you mean? We have 15 quarterbacks. It is chicken. I'm not going to lie to you. It is.
No, I'm joking. That's not chicken. It's a best ball league. Now let's see if I can draft without me losing my. All right. There we go. Okay. I got a quarterback. Oh my gosh. At least one anyway.
You took what? Patrick Mahomes, huh?
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, they're just going to fly. You gotta. At this point, it's not. This is when you call it just make an adjustment to the draft. You're not really panicking.
Yep.
You're making a major adjustment because you wait one more round. You might have 0 quarterbacks. You might be drafting backups. I hope that someone gets hurt.
And now in my opinion, it's kind of down there. You've got Eli Manning, who you like, but I don't. Kittle just went as a tight end. I guess it's my pick again. I got to be careful. You know, Manning, Prescott, Keenum, Bortles. I don't like any of these guys. Trubisky's a wild card. Let's look down the board. There's one guy that already has 3 quarterbacks. I wonder if I should panic here. Let me see. I've got 7 seconds allegedly. Who do I like at receiver here? Is there somebody that I like that I would take over one of these running quarterbacks? Okay, what do I got? 22 seconds? I can't even find
There's a couple people with just 1 quarterback.
Yeah, but I don't like any of these guys, you know.
Yeah, that's true. You don't want to force, and then you're still going to
you do sometimes, but
yeah, 9 seconds, by the way.
Yeah, I allegedly took Doxson. We'll see when I get to the board.
Yeah, you did.
I did get Doxson, so I'm just going to be really hurting it. You know, in best ball wise, it's a real problem in my opinion. You need to get 2 quality quarterbacks, and I have not done that. So I'm going to have to pull a rabbit out of my hat. And Bill Robertson got Garoppolo and came all the way around, was able to get Smith. That's a value pick. He could have some big games for the Washington Redskins.
I agree. I think that he's one of those that he's not a sexy pick. He's not a huge upside guy, but I think he has a couple of good games in him.
You got sniped on Sterling Shepard. Sorry, can't talk tonight.
Do you have my queue open on your screen? Because he was the top guy on my queue.
God, don't tell me after 2.5 drafts I know everything you're going to do.
That is scary.
Really. Just kidding. I don't know. It's your pick, by the way.
Well, you know who I'm taking now.
Yes, I do know who you're taking right now. Starts with an E.
I have to. It does start with an E, and it ends with a lie. Manning. Yeah. Eli Manning.
You know, I met him in 2007. I think he was a first or second year player, and it was at a party, an NFL Players Association party in Florida at the pre-Super Bowl. And he had a 3-piece suit on, and he was carrying like a Diet Coke in his hand, and it looked like a 17-year-old kid. And I introduced myself, and he just looked like just a young puck, young whatever the word is. Look at the quarterbacks go, baby. Prescott.
Yeah, Prescott just went. And, you know, you want to try to get 2, like you mentioned, or you need 2 for sure in best ball. But, you know, when you're in RC, you might want to consider 3. You know, just because
picking
we have
it
some
apart,
question marks in the position.
Yeah. You know what's funny is Jen a lot of times, who's picking right after you at spot 9, Jersey Jen 22. A lot of times she talks about, you know, she devalues the quarterback even in best ball. But look at her. She's got Breeze and Brady. So I'm going to have to give her a hard time about that.
She's going to have to hear it. Yeah, and you know, maybe what happened there is you adjust to your draft, and maybe that, you know, she went in with a certain expectation, and some of the guys she had on her board early went before she, you know, expected them to go. So she just adjusted and took good value at quarterback positions. I don't know what, you know, round she drafted.
Well, she took Brady in the 8th round, and there were 2 quarterbacks had gone. Then when it looped around to her, Cam Newton had gone and Russell Wilson, and then she took Breeze. So she had a lot of room that she could have looped around. But you know, obviously she likes Breeze, and yeah, we'll have to talk to her about that later. But she's looking good.
Yeah, and I mean, it depends on who you ask, but she arguably got 2 top 5, top 6 quarterbacks in most rankings, you know, in the 8th and 9th round. So she, you know, she took advantage of that, of the value at hand, I think, there, and makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, she's a good best ball. She plays a ton of best ball also, like Mike Dempsey does. Another defense goes. Is that just 2 defenses? Oh, Bob takes a 2nd defense off the board. What is he thinking? That's a good pick.
He got one of the best defenses in the league.
Yep, and again,
I mean, Bob has,
he's got 22.
Bob has a strong squad, and he's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, he's got, you know, once his next pick, or no, that was his last pick. He's got you know, 22 picks till his next pick. So a lot goes there, and he wanted a top defense, and he's set at quarterback. He's got Gronkowski. He's got a pretty good mix of players. So, you know, sometimes, like I think you talked last Friday in the video too, is sometimes it gets down to where this guy is too much value, even at a defense, to where it's just time to take him, even though it's not later in the draft.
Yeah.
Rashard Matthews. I have 6 receivers, and I have a handcuff player, so technically I only have 3 running backs. Huh. I think we need to restart this draft because it ain't worked for me. I'm hurt.
So I have a feeling Dempsey is going to snipe me this round.
Do you want to say the name, or do you want to hide it? Oh, I know who he's going to take. He's going to take. He's going to take Moncrief. He's going with Moncrief. Absolutely.
Absolutely. You're right. That's what I have here. You know, I have a feeling he's going with him. He knows that. Okay, so Dempsey's smart. We've talked before. He knows very well if he doesn't take Moncrief now, sorry, he won't. Especially with, you know, Mike.
Well, you know, Moncrief was supposed to. Oh, there goes Bortles. These guys are leaving me nothing at quarterback.
And that was John Lobb, right? Yes.
Yes, that was Lobb. Now,
and he's, you know,
go ahead.
He's been taking them in best balls, and nothing. When you draft with people and stuff like that, you know their tendencies, and he's been taking, you know, in these stages of best ball leagues. Oh, he left them.
He went with another Jacksonville Jaguar, who was a very good pick. Somebody who's been going late in drafts.
You see, let me tell you, that scares me.
Yeah, why is that?
That scares me. Because he's a
Moncrief
insider,
yeah,
and he skipped on Moncrief to get Keelan Cole.
I tell you what, you should be. I mean, he goes to the training camp. Moncrief hasn't been playing yet, so maybe he or maybe he's going to take Moncrief later, and he knows it. But no, you know what? Nobody was taking Cole in the 13th pick. I don't think so. 13th round. Yeah, we're going to have to call him up and find out what's going on.
Well, that, you know what? I'm going to trust his judgment there. Yep, it did. It actually did. It really, really did.
Excellent.
So I went with the next guy on my board.
So let me ask you a question. Let's see. Does everybody have 2 quarterbacks? Yeah, everybody's got 2. everybody but me have got 2 quarterbacks. So the question is, could I wait another round to take a quarterback? I probably could.
I don't think so because there's still, teams like myself, and I'm sure there's other teams that don't have 2 strong quarterbacks.
So let me ask you a question. Would you take, since you've already got 2 quarterbacks in mind, would you take Trubinsky or would you take Keenum or somebody else that's on the board? Trubisky.
You only have 1 quarterback, right?
Yep.
See, I would probably take someone like an Andy Dalton. And I would try to go 2, like Trubisky, Andy Dalton, right now to get, so you have 3 quarterbacks, on your roster because chances are I don't think Andy Dalton will come back to you in the next round. He was probably who'd you take? You took Trubisky, so that's good. I would go back-to-back quarterbacks here if I were you.
It's definitely tempting. It's I'm not sure if I want to take Keenan or Dalton or it's getting really the bottom of the barrel is scraping.
You got 2 really young quarterbacks, or even Ryan Tannehill. We talked about him yesterday when I drafted him as my 3rd. Even Ryan Tannehill, taking a quarterback that you at least know what you're going to get out of him because you have 2 very young quarterbacks. If I'm not mistaken, 2 second-year guys, right?
Yep, you're right. I got young quarterbacks. I just don't like Dalton. I just don't like Dalton.
I like that Austin Eckler pick. He's someone I try to target late in drafts.
Yep. Hey, Tannehill. Bill's got 3 quarterbacks.
See, and that's why it's tough, and it makes it does make sense.
Wow. All right, you think Dalton's a good pick, huh? I haven't listened to you one time this draft. All right, I'm going to take Dalton, and I'm holding my breath. Luckily, I don't have to make lineups in this draft. I have to start that guy. Hey, Mike Williams, that's pretty late. Go ahead.
And that's, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to worry about actually starting him. All right, so you know what? I'm just going to take him this round. Let's see if Mike wanted him.
Moncrief is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I need the receivers here. I only have 4 on my roster, so I need another receiver.
That's thin, but yeah, there's a lot of guys still left. Well, I'm not taking any more quarterbacks. I'm done with quarterbacks.
Yeah, so yeah, there you go. I mean, now you can focus on filling out the rest of your roster nicely. I'm likely still going to take. I have 6 picks left. One of them has to be a defense, so technically 5 picks left. And I've been doing this, and maybe it's not wise. I'll let you know at the end of the season how it worked out for me. But just taking 1 defense, kind of what I've been doing.
That'll be interesting to see how that works out. Because that's not typical. Most people are taking two defenses.
Yeah. We see that happen quite often.
Oh, here's what I want. Let me go look at CDs. What's left at this position? Oh, interesting. Okay, that guy's available. Let's see if anybody took that guy out. I think in my frustration of my draft, I think this guy's gone. I guess Godwin went somewhere probably 3 or 4 rounds ago. Yeah, there he went. He just went a couple picks ago. Can't get him.
Yeah, he went a couple picks away. I think he's a good best ball. We talked about him, I believe. Was it the last draft or the one before? I know we spoke about him where he might be maybe a year away from having a major impact on this offense, but I still think he's going to have, maybe a handful of pretty decent games.
Yep. Charles Clay, gone. I'm a little worried about that.
And
there he is. Adrian Peterson goes.
That's now they're flying off the board. Whoa.
This still shows he's a free agent, although he's with Washington now. Blount. Or Blunt, however you pronounce his name. Sutton. So Bob got Sutton and Blount. He took Parker. Everybody's leaving Parker alone. Parker's a good high-risk pick for the 12th round. Hey, there's that guy who's just playing really well. Tywan Taylor for Tennessee with Rashad Matthews, still not playing it in preseason.
Correct. Yeah, that's something that it is worth noting. Matthews has been a pretty consistent receiver, but he's just not on the field right now. He's dealing with injuries, and it's very uncertain what his status to start the season. And someone is taking advantage of his time off, and sometimes that happens. We've seen it multiple times in the league, and many times. Where a player is out with injury, someone comes in, shines, and you know what? They lose playing time because of that.
Things can change.
Yep, in a hurry.
Michael Gallup for Dallas, another rookie off the board. To Justin Linero.
Martavis Bryant.
Another possible high upside, very risky player, but nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
I'm never going to take a defense in this league. Sheesh. Still feeling like I'm catching up to the auto pick. I haven't eaten dinner yet either. That's my excuse.
Oh yeah, you came unprepared. No dinner. That's just unprepared. Unacceptable.
I ate a banana and had a small piece of cheese.
I actually had a pretty good dinner.
Oh, it's your pick, by the way.
Oh yes, it is. I am. Let me see here.
Gosh, Jesus. Sanu.
Yes. I think he's going to see a lot of playing time out of the slot, and I think that's where he shines. I'm not expecting a monster year by any means, and I'm not expecting consistent production, but I do expect, some pretty good games out of him. We have Calvin Ridley there. He's a young receiver. We got obviously Julio Jones. But I still think Sanu has his role on this offense, and he's not going to be seeing the second best defender on opposing defenses anymore. So I think he should be able to take advantage of some of his matchups this year.
Cool. Yeldon went, and I took the Deontay Foreman, who I don't target, but it's the 15th round, and it's a body who may mid-season start to come, and I'm leaving the defenses alone. And now it's my pick one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, would this receiver last for me? I don't think so. I'm going to take a guy who most people forget about, and that's Ryan Grant, wide receiver, Indianapolis. Again, a guy who's supposed to start opposite T.Y. Hilton, and he's got Andrew Luck throwing to him. Definitely a guy that people have been leaving alone in drafts.
I think those are the kind of picks you got to make in these rounds. Just get someone you really like, someone you've been doing your research on, and you feel can have a big season, and that's what you're getting there.
Let's see, it's almost your pick.
So I'm going to do something a little different in this round. I am doing something very different in this round.
Yes. I need a backup tight end. Oh, I like it.
I like what I've seen out of him in the preseason though so far, and it's only a matter of time where he's going to become the starter. At least I think. So
notice Dempsey takes another high potential guy, Albert Wilson with Miami, the receiver from Kansas City last year, who could have some huge games. And in camp, they say he's looking better than anybody in camp. Another nice pick.
I think it's worth pointing out there, something he's done that I think is interesting. So there's a lot of uncertainty in the Dolphins, receiving core. You got Devontae Parker hurt, then you got Kenny Stills, and then Amendola's looking like he's, having building good chemistry with Tannehill, and then like you mentioned, you got this receiver now that Wilson that he picked. So he got 2 receivers in Miami right now that have been getting a ton of good buzz this preseason and during training camp. So he might hit on one, and these are not going to be guys that are giving consistent production, but they will have big games, and chances are when they have the big games, it's not going to be the same week. So he might get pretty consistent production of the 2 receivers combined.
Yep, he's doing it again. If he keeps doing this, we're not gonna bring him into the draft. We're gonna kick him out of the
Can't
league.
invite him anymore. Can't invite him anymore.
That's one of my bucket lists, is to be kicked out of a league because you do too well. And I've had people who call on the phone who are buying our products, and that's happened to a few guys I've called where they kick them out of the league.
It happens. It happens.
That's a great honor. That's an honor that only I have only heard a few people happen to. And I'm just joking. We'd never kick him out of the league, but
no.
Christian Kirk just went. If I look at the receivers going, Wallace just went. Now, it's coming around to you, but before it gets to you too close, I wanted to kind of talk about this draft strategy. I'm in the 11th spot. I got 4 more picks left. If I go with 2 defenses and a kicker, I've got 1 pick left other than those positions. And I've only got 1 tight end. I like taking 2 tight ends. So I'm pretty much done. And that's kind of why I went with Deontay Foreman and Ryan Grant, because now I have too many. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. I got a bunch of receivers, and I've got a decent amount of running backs. So I wanted to get one there, and then we'll see what I can get with these other positions. There's my tight end that just went, Ben Watson. So who knows what I'm going to do at tight end.
Yeah, and you pretty much, like you said, there's 4 picks left, and you're going 2 defenses. So you technically have 2, picks left. So, and look what happened. I knew he was going to do it. That's wrong.
What, Stewart?
No. You were talking about tight ends, and
you're on the clock, by the way.
Yeah. Let me see here. Yeah, it's flying here.
Yes, they are picking quickly. We've got 6 defenses off the board. Most people are going to take 2, so a lot of times they'll take them in the last round or 2. And I've got a dilemma on how I'm going to, I'm going to take a tight end, a kicker, and 2 defenses. Corey Grant went. There's a nice pick, and that was for you.
Yeah, and I have Fournette, so I want at least someone in this backfield. I know Yeldon already went, but there's been some pretty good buzz on Grant, and maybe Mike could have, far more information on him, and I'm sure he does. So I'll ask him. I do think he'll have a pretty good role here.
All right, is it my pick yet?
You're on the clock with 45 seconds.
I guess so. What does Bill got? Has he got 2 kickers, tight ends? Yes, he does. Okay, so I'm going to take the next player that I think is next on the list. That's Denver. I'm going to take Denver right now. And then I think I'm going to take my tight end coming around this corner, and I don't think he's going to take another tight end. He could have taken another defense. That's why I went defense first. He's going to get 2 picks. I don't think he's going to take a tight end because he's got George Kittle and Delaney Walker. And then I'm going to take my second tight end, and then I'm going to have to go defense the last 2 rounds. Not really how I want to do it. Oh, excuse me. I took Denver, so I don't have to worry about that. It'll be a place kicker and defense. So there's P. Ryan. Again, Robert Kelly just seems to be the guy that nobody trusts in Denver. Excuse me, Washington.
Yeah, and that seems odd, But I think now...
I could have taken him instead of Foreman, and Foreman's a wild card. I just went for a wild card.
And I think that's fine. I mean, you know, I think eventually they want him to be the guy. I think now, you know, with the situation in Washington with Adrian Peterson, you know, signing, just makes it a very unappealing situation for me.
Oh, that's what you see.
He did go to Thailand.
I know, but my guy is Gesicki.
I mean, I had him. Gesicki. I had him on my queue. I was going to take him in the round before. I was, but I wanted to make sure I got Grant in there, and is his name Bill? You said
Bill Robinson. Yeah. Yep. He's a part owner of the Football
Bill there. It's very difficult to. He's been making some pretty big picks there, so it's difficult to I didn't want him to fall back to him and then not get back to me. So I'm on the clock, aren't I?
Yes, you are. Jen just took the New England defense. She's got Houston and New England. Very nice defenses. New England has a way of having some really bad defensive games and some really big ones, which is great for best ball, as we pointed out. So I guess I'm glad I took a tight end there in the 18th round as opposed to taking a better defense, because I wouldn't have had Gesicki. And, right now there's not a ton left, and I don't like rookie tight ends, but he's in Miami, and he's the guy. He's going to get targets. You got 5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm just going to take a defense here.
Okay, Pittsburgh, good.
I'm just going to take a defense. I was going to wait one more round. I'll just take a defense and get something else. Maybe the next 2 picks, since I believe people will be taking more defenses. Maybe some of the players I have on my queue will fall back to me.
Let's see, how many people are taking 2... oh, wait, we don't have kickers. Here I am talking about taking a kicker. That just gave me... We don't have kickers in this best ball league. I've got an extra spot on my roster.
There you go.
So I can take a defense, and then I can take one of these other crazy players. I'm so used to playing tight ends, place kickers. Forgot all about it. The defenses are rolling. 4 out of the last 5 picks are defenses. Tennessee, Carolina, and your pick, Pittsburgh, and just before you, New England. Tavon Austin goes. I'm getting hungry. I'm ready to eat.
We're almost done here. We'll have some supper.
Now I got to figure out what I want to do.
Oh, you have not made food yet?
No, what I'm going to do with this extra pick I've just got.
Oh, I thought you were already talking about dinner.
I flip around, I'm dyslexic. I'm all over the place.
I thought you were talking about dinner.
Yeah. My wife does not let me cook.
Oh, no?
No, she enjoys.
I actually made dinner tonight.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. It wasn't that difficult. It was just pop some fish in the oven and we're good.
Spencer Ware goes to Justin Lanero.
There you go.
See, that was his 18th pick. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 6 running backs and 5 receivers. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's only got 5 receivers, which to me is, a little imbalanced, which doesn't really mean everything. It's just a point. So we're looking for
I think he complemented that by taking 3 quarterbacks, 3, tight ends, and then how many? He has 6 running backs. So yeah, maybe he might end this draft, with a defense and a receiver, I think, or a defensive running back. To kind of
notice Bob took Jeremy Hill for New England, who's just a forgotten man.
Yeah. And there goes Tyler Kroft.
And that is not a handcuff. And obviously he had a great game with Eifert out last year, so obviously he's rooting for Eifert to not play the whole year. Another defense.
And there you go. Bob took Paul Richardson. I was going to select him in that round. But I skipped him. I did think he might slip to me, and that's what you call a potential mistake right there. And Bob just continues to get strong.
Yeah, good roster.
Yeah, he has a very strong roster.
Wow. Choices are kind of slim here.
Yeah, this is, these drafts are deep drafts, so it's going to happen where these rounds you're, kind of searching for value and maybe, looking for players who could potentially see playing time if someone gets hurt or something like that. But
yep.
Definitely tough to find a starter here.
2 more picks. One's going to be a defense and one's going to be something else. Wow, look at those defenses go. Is there going to be any left? Well, now let's see. You have 1 defense. Okay, Flacco goes.
I'm on deck.
What is left of defense? I just hit defense and there's nobody there. No, I'm just kidding. I really don't have a good feel for this. One of these defenses down in the middle, like anybody does. But it's been a great draft, other than my auto pick, quasi auto pick. There's a lot of great players in this draft who've done quite well in many kind of leagues. So it's definitely a challenge to do well in this league.
It is. And I am on the clock. All right.
Kansas City, that was a pretty good pick for Dempsey. Again, not only does he draft well, that one fell right in his lap. We're going to have to make a rule change. He can't do that. That's a good pick. Nice pick. The Doug Martin pick.
Doug Martin, yeah. He's the number 2 running back there. I think they'll utilize him.
All right, I'm going to take another long shot here. I did it before. Cole Beasley, who's coming back from groin injury. Slot guy. Let's see if that helps me at all. And now we got to see whether there is a second defense, assuming I'm taking a second defense.
I have forgotten to take some guys off of my list here. Scratch
it's a crowded list. There's nothing left. There's so little left. San Francisco. That's a trending defense.
Yeah, it's who drafted that? You?
No, Bill did on the corner. He's got 1 more pick and it's back to me. And I'm kind of sliding down looking at this dwindling list of defenses. And he took Chris Warren, who's been playing pretty well for Oakland. All right. Jeez, this is bizarre. I'm going to do something really bizarre. I'm taking Seattle's defense. Let me make sure the bye week is not going to
too bizarre.
What's their bye week? Oh, 5. Okay, that's crazy, and it's done, and I've done it. I'm done. Now I get to heckle you or heckle everybody else who can't hear me over the next 10 picks. So we're looking at Brad Cruz, who's only got 1 defense, and I've watched Brad Cruz draft, especially in auction over the years, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does with this pick. Will he take a second defense, or is he going to do something a little more unusual? He's got 2 tight ends, 2 quarterbacks. Will he take a second defense here? I'm kind of curious. And I'm proud of him. He's almost used all his time, even in the 20th round. So he still wins that trophy. Wow. Come on, Brad. He did. Took Cincinnati, which was the other one I was thinking of Cincinnati too, and I don't know why I just can't take Cincinnati. So, it's Jen's pick. She has 3 defenses. Boy, that is unusual for her.
No, I believe she does that. She's spoken about that.
Okay, I guess I'm forgetting.
In best ball.
Torrey Smith for Carolina. He could have some best ball games. Oh, there you go, Callaway.
Yeah.
I like that pick. Now with Josh Gordon there, what do you think?
I think that his ceiling is going to be capped now. I think he was potentially going to have bigger games or more big games than he might now. I still think you're going to see a couple of very big explosive games out of Callaway this season. And again, this is best ball, so we don't have to decide when to put a player in there. So I will hopefully accumulate those points the weeks he does have, some big games. And, I want to point something out. I got 1, 2, and I'm not happy about this. I just realized that after the pick, 4 Cleveland Brown players. That is not appealing. That that is not something I'm very thrilled about right now.
And looking there in the 20th round, John Laub took James Conner, who is a wild card who, if he gets a chance to play a lot, if Le'Veon Bell leaves a few games out there, could really rack up the points. Really good best ball player. Probably should have thought about him instead of Beasley, but we'll see.
And those are the kind of picks that can make or break you. Or not break you, but they can make your season. I don't think that pick in the last round is going to break him by any means. But like you mentioned, if something happens with Bell, he's not on the field, Connor could see pretty hefty workload behind a good offensive line.
Yeah. And Bob, with the last pick in the draft, takes Luke Wilson for Detroit, who's the number 1 tight end in Detroit with the 20th pick. That's not a bad backup. He wasted only a 20th round pick to back up Rob Gronkowski with a pretty good sleeper pick.
Yeah, someone who can see some red zone looks. We saw last year.
Well, this draft took about an hour and 20 minutes, roughly. Well, excellent draft. I think it was pretty dynamic. I think it's excellent for the listeners and the viewers to see all these different guys and how they did go through this best ball draft. It's going to be fun to see who wins. And, of course, we're looking at Mike Dempsey because he won last year, and looks like he did quite well. Not the only one that did well, but he did quite well.
Yeah, I think Bob has a very strong, and this is just, looking at it quickly, not digging into these teams, but I think Bob has a very strong team here. Dempsey, too, has a strong team. I like
Bob's pick. He got Freeman, who's upside in the 4th. He was able to get Lynch. Barber's a nice, sneaky pick. He's probably going to get several games, of high volume. He's got good quarterbacks. He got some nice, sneaky picks late. Good draft.
Yeah, he's a very balanced team, and I think he has a good mix of upside and safe floors. So that's kind of the approach I like to take, and kind of the build I like to have on my rosters as well.
And we got to talk to Mike Dempsey, because in the first round he took Barkley over Fournette. And being, the radio guy, one of the radio guys for Jacksonville, he sees a lot of it going on. That's interesting to me. I thought he'd take Fournette before.
And then he took Cole over Moncrief. So, there is a couple questions, or there are a couple questions that we got to ask him.
Yeah, it's too bad we can't have them on, but maybe some other time. But, those are going to be good ones. Well, fantastic. This was a blast. I'm just going to leave the board up so people don't have to see us tired people. But, this has been a great draft, and hopefully it'll be good for the listeners. I think it will be. And hopefully we'll get another one of these done later in the week. We'll have to check our schedule. Anything last you'd like to say?
Oh, it was fun, and we're going to be doing this every week, like you said, and maybe we'll get another video toward the end of the week and break down another draft. But this has been fun. It gives you a lot of perspective as to how, people think differently throughout the draft process, how to adjust. and it just you know, every draft is different, so it really helps out everyone that's preparing for the draft to watch these videos and kind of get different opinions, different perspectives of different drafts.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I had a blast, and we'll talk at the next video.
Yes, sir.
See you then.